going to practice different ways to cut out the background from pictures and then combine the images. We will use the Magic Wand tool, the Marquee Select tool, the Lasso Select Polygon tool, and the Eraser tool to remove the background and as many stray pixels as possible. Before we begin, I want to show you how easy it is to zoom in and move around the images using the navigation panel. The navigation panel is in the top right corner above the Layers panel. If you don't see it right away, you can click on this symbol on the right side of the screen or go to View and Restore All Panels. At the bottom of the navigation panel is a slide bar that will zoom in and out. Zoom in to get it close up to remove the most background pixels for a clean, sharp outline. Zoom out to make sure everything looks crisp and clean along the edges. You will also notice a red box appears when you zoom in. This box tells you which part of your canvas is showing. You can move this red box around to navigate around your image without needing to click on the Arrange tool and then re-clicking whichever tool you were working with. It saves a lot of time. To start this project, open up Pixlr and make sure your name is by the gold crown. Scroll down and choose Pixlr E, Pixlr Editor. We will be choosing the blue Open Image button, which takes you to Files. Choose Google Drive, Shared Drive, CAM's Shared Drive, number 3 Pixlr Images, and open the Penguins in the Park folder. You will be removing the background from all of the penguins, but I'm going to start with Penguin 1 to demonstrate the tools. We are going to start with the Magic Wand Select tool. We used this tool with the Pixlr lessons. When you use this tool and click on a particular color, the entire area with that color is selected with the dancing ants around it. Then you can delete everything selected. So if I click on the blue, you will see that the dancing ants around all of the blue of that same shade that's touching. When you click backspace, it will be removed. The Magic Wand tool is a good way to remove a lot of the background, especially if it's a solid color. However, you can see if we try to remove the snow, some of the penguin vanishes also. The goal is to remove as many background pixels as possible without changing the penguins. After you are done with the Magic Wand Select tool, go to Select and Deselect to get rid of the dancing ants. You may also need to click on the Arrange arrow in the top left corner. But real quick, I want to double check and make sure I didn't remove any penguin pixels out of here. So I'm going to go to View, change theme to something light. And then I'm going to zoom right in. Yeah, I did get some of the pixels. You can kind of see where I got some of those pulled out, but I think I can fix that with the Eraser tool when we get to that point. Now, as I said before, I prefer the dark view. I tend to find it easier for my eyes, but it's totally up to you. Change that back to the dark gray. Okay, so if we can't use that Magic Erase tool, I want to show you the other options we have. Or no, first we're going to use the Marquee Select. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Forgot what I was doing for a second. Okay, Marquee Select. And if you look at the Marquee Select options, you want to be sure it's in the rectangle. So you're going to bring your cursor down. You're going to draw a rectangle over whatever you want to get rid of. And once the ants are dancing, click the backspace. So you just want to keep going around, avoiding. So I just hit the bird. I don't want to do that. I'm going to come over here. This is a good way to get large pieces of what you don't want, the background that you don't want removed quickly. Okay, so now that I've done that, I can zoom in and just keep doing that, but there's a better way to remove the rest of those pixels. So we're going to go to the lasso tool. Now there's a free version, a free form that you can just like kind of draw, but it's kind of hard to be exact. So we're not going to use that. We're going to use the polygon tool. The polygon tool reminds me very much of that one line tool that we used in Google Drawing that you use to make the beach and the palm trees. So we're going to zoom in nice and close. Again, you can use this box up here to move around to where you want. And then you're just going to start clicking along. Actually, I think this is a little easier to use than the one in Google Drawing because you can zoom in nice and close. So I'm going to come around to the end until it connects and you've got your dancing ants, and you can hit backspace, and there you go. All of those extra pixels are out. So you're just going to keep going around and around until all of your pixels that you do not want are gone. So you want to be careful not to pick up anything that is not background. I'm going to scroll down a little further up here with this red box. It will give me a nice okay. And you can kind of go fast once you get used to it. Try to get rid of the snow. Dancing ants, click backspace. Before we go any further, you can see that there's still some white pixels. And I told you earlier that I don't want you using the erase tool, because the erase tool, I can usually tell if that's your first go-to. Because people were lazy and you just want to come in and come with the erase tool and then just start. I need to select, deselect, come in and erase. So you can see, first off, I keep cutting even when I'm trying to go slow. It is not nice and neat, is it? It's kind of sloppy and fuzzy. So I'm going to undo that. And now I want to zoom in. Here, see these extra pixels? I'm going to make this brush size smaller. I might want it even smaller than that. It's 1 pixel. I want like just to come and kind of get those very white pieces that aren't where I want them to be. So you can see I'm just getting the very, I'm gonna make that even smaller, 6. There we go. So I can get those little pixels without getting any of the birds. And even here I can come along. Nice and close, because some of that was actually feathers. So whatever you think is not, should not be there, you can get that out with really close up. I know the feet are always a little funny, so you might want to just make them a little fuzzy so it doesn't look too sharp when we put them somewhere else. Okay, so that's how we use all of the tools. So for now, I want you to cut out the backgrounds of all 4 penguins. So we've got Penguin 2 and Penguin 3. Penguin 3 has 2 penguins, so there will be 4 penguins total that you're going to be cutting out. So there should be 4 cutout penguins with 3 different images. Once you have them all cut out, you're going to save them individually as PNG files. So I have this one, saved it as PNG. Make sure the transparent, the background is still transparent. Save as, And you might want to give it a different name, like Penguin 2 Cut. I've got a couple. I've got Penguins 1, 2, and 3 cut in my downloads file here. That way I know which one is which. So once you've done with that, you're going to go back to Home. You're going to open a new image. You're going to go back to your Google Drive, the shared drive, Cam's Digital Media, the Pixlr images, and the penguins in the park. And this time you're going to upload the park. Okay, so my park is really tiny. I need to make it a little bigger. It's a little bit pixely, but that's okay. It will look fine when we're done. And then you want to go to Layer, Add Images Layer, and you want to get those penguins in there. They should be in your downloads at this point. So I'm going to do Penguin 1. He is kind of enormous. So remember, you can adjust everything over here. I'm going to shrink him down to fit. See how my box is getting kind of small, but I'm making him small enough to fit on my screen. And make that a little bigger again. I'm going to now go back and I'm going to get my next one, Layer, Add Images Layer, and Penguin 2, Cut. There he is. Again, he's enormous. Let's shrink him down to fit in the park. And I'm not even going to bother making that big again, because this one will probably do the same thing. So now I want to get Penguin 3 Cut. I'm going to shrink them down. They weren't quite as large. Okay, it's big again. So what you want to do is make the penguins look like they belong there. This guy's a little large still. So think about, you can have one sitting on the bench. The one can be walking, but you think, how big are penguins actually? They're not huge. So you want to size them appropriately. Maybe I want these two guys in the background running down the hill. Maybe this guy's just walking along. So they're now sized appropriately to the picture. One of the other things that you can do is adjust. Remember, we have adjustments. So this guy looks really white compared to, you would think he'd be a little more yellow like this guy because of the sun. It looks like it's in the afternoon, so the sun would make it a little different. So that's where we go to Adjustment, Temperature and Tint. And temperature would make him more yellowy. Going the other way would make him more blue. If he were somewhere if he were in, the Arctic, he would be like white like this. But since he's in a park and it looks like it's a nice fall day, the sun would be a little warmer on him. So maybe adjust the tint a little, but tint usually goes purples and greens. So that probably wants to stay put. So, adjust it so he looks like he fits. Same thing with these. I think that they could get a little bit of an adjustment. Let's go back to Adjustment, Temperature and Tint. I want to do the same thing maybe. Yeah, see, they look a little more natural, like it's the same light. They're a little bit pixely. But that happens sometimes when you take a picture and change the size a great deal. So go ahead, cut out your penguins. You want to combine them and then put them into the park here. So once they're in the park, you make your adjustments. When you are done, go ahead and save it as a PNG and save it. Maybe Penguins in the Park would be a good name, and turn it into the assignment.